this one starts with my thumb in instead of my 4 fingers in. So I start with my thumb in, and again, always first hand that goes in, I offset all my weight to this side so I don't get rolled off while this is happening. I get a grip with my thumb, and now here, anywhere on the collar. It can be here, but it can be here. So I'm just gonna get it here and here. This one pulls down, that takes all the slack out, and it connects the lapel to his neck on that side. And this one drops down. Yeah. Okay. So this one is thumb in, and I actually get the other lapel anywhere. I could get it down here too. I just want to pull it straight down and drop this. Now, do you feel that as a blood choke or as a trach choke? Blood. That's because I'm being careful about my wrist bone placement. I want to put that on his carotid. This isn't just grab this anywhere and pull this down and then chop his trach. This is not, should not be a trach choke ideally. It is kind of like the rear choke with lapels, but just from the front. Thumb goes in. When I'm ready, I catch this lapel, I pull straight down. And this one, I'm jutting my wrist bone, not only dropping my elbow to the floor. One of the things that can go wrong when you're doing a paper cutter choke is that the person can block your elbow from dropping. I just want to point this out. So you block this elbow with this hand. And now you might say, oh, you know, I can't drop this so I can't finish it, but I should still be able to finish it anyways. This is just a reiteration that him blocking my elbow doesn't necessarily stop it if I'm using my wrist and pulling his lapel like I should be. It should really be a pull and a jut of this wrist bone, okay? And that can happen from up here, and that can happen with a straight arm. I mean, I don't really need it to bend, okay? So just a reiteration of what we already said. You don't have to drop this across the trach to finish this. Another choke we can do for mount is a push-pull choke. This choke we call squeeze the bread when we're inside the guard, but you can do this from here as well. I need some material to do this, and I'm gonna put his lapel, I grab it with 4 fingers on the inside, same side lapel, put this across his throat here, and I pull this one, and I drive my weight, I can drive my weight through a straight arm, okay? But this works just as well from mount as it does from guard. And we grab this material, we take the slack out while we put the pinky over here, so it might take you a little bit of getting used to where to grab this, because this I'll never make it to the other side. I would say about at the collarbone. You'll feel the collarbone under the skin here. That's about where your pinky should be. And then you're gonna take the slack out and push it across. It usually ends up about in the right spot. That'll vary person to person as well. And then because it would be a good defense for him to hold my knuckles and pull down, I cover and hide my knuckles. So I put this here, I cover and hide my knuckles. So now it's hard for him to find my hand. Meanwhile, I can lean my weight on a stiff arm, okay? So one last time, over here, I grab this, I put this across. I'm aiming for this pinky knuckle to make contact with his carotid right here. Okay, so one more time, it's across, I cover and hide my knuckles, and through a straight arm, I lean in while I pull the left side. Here, let's try it, 3, 2. I'll do one without talking to this totally battered neck. You're gonna have to explain to people tomorrow. Great, let's do it. 3, 2, 1. I'm gonna show you the first little combination of chokes that I learned using the push-pull choke. Okay, so we're gonna go back one and go to the paper cutter choke, thumb in, grab material, and he blocks my elbow, and for some reason it is working and I can't get this to finish. I can use my left hand to hand my right hand the collar, and it's not a long way to go to make that switch. Okay, so I'm going from a paper cutter to a push-pull choke. I'm doing this. My left hand can just hand the material to my right hand and then take its new job as a pulling hand and a knuckle covering hand, and I'm there. Okay, there's very little ground to cover to make the switch between these two chokes, so they're kind of a cool little combination. One last time. Thumb goes in, dropping this. Maybe it's not perfect, and him pushing my elbow actually does stop it. So it doesn't do anything to stop me from straightening my arm, so it actually doesn't stop me from setting the next one up right here. There's another way you can finish a paper cutter choke that's even more sneaky. So I'm gonna put my thumb in, and it's gonna be a paper cutter, but instead of grabbing here or here, I'm gonna grab here. So I'm actually grabbing behind my leg. This is something that people don't expect. So I put this hand in, and when I start looking behind myself, it doesn't look like I'm trying to finish a choke, but if I grab the material underneath and behind my leg, then not only is it sneaky, but I have all the power of my leg to help me finish. So I am going to still apply pressure with my hand here, as usual, but I'm actually pushing my hand with my leg, so it's even more powerful. One more time. And then I'm actually going to look behind myself, going right behind my own leg, to find this material so that I can finish this right here. Another kind of gi choke from the mount that I can do is a sleeve choke. I use my own sleeves called an Ezekiel choke. And this choke is frequently we start this from a low mount when I'm down here. A really good time to do this is when somebody starts committing their hands either to pushing my knees or my hip, because if by definition, if his hands are dealing with something down there, they're not protecting his neck, okay? But if I don't want to get up to start opening the collar to do this, there is a way I can use my sleeve while I'm still down. So if his arms are out of the picture here, what I'm going to do is put one arm underneath his head and put my fingers inside my own sleeve. I get a grip of this material. This hand I'm going to sort of gooseneck and then fit in under his chin. Now there's a square of space right here that I want to take away. So I'm under the head. Do this. I sort of gooseneck my hand to put it in here. I take this square of space away by sliding it in. Okay. When I slide this in, I now have this pinky knuckle in contact with the carotid on this side, So from here, you can finish right here. Or I know that some people like, when they catch this, they put this in, they like to come up to their knee on this side, so they have a little more base. It's harder for them to try to roll me here. And all I'm doing to finish is this. Your hand can be open. I like to make a fist. I feel it's a little more protective of my wrist. So from a low mount, his hands disappear, he's pushing my hips or whatever he's doing, yeah. I come under the head, fingers inside my sleeve. I gooseneck this guy to fit under his chin. And then this square of space right here, I slide against his neck. This is an important detail people can miss, and this would be all trach. I don't want that. I slide this in so my sleeve material does that side of his neck, and my chopping fist or whatever it is does it on this side of his neck. This, right here. Good. And that is a blood choke, correct? I feel like a good blood choke. Oh, yeah. Okay, good. Last time. Take that space away. Here or here. So there's this sort of Ezekiel variations, like an arm and sleeve choke, where I'm going to start it like a standard choke, and then from here I drop my elbows. A lot of times it helps you get under here if you put some weight on the sternum. It's a little trick to get the head to come off the ground or the neck to create a little space there. I'm going to come underneath here, and I'm going to bring my elbow to my hand and grab material here. Now I have his collar and my elbow material, and from here you can be in a low mount, and I'm going to bring my weight over the head and choke here. This is more of a trach choke. I put the first hand in. I'm going to lead him up. This one comes underneath. I'll hold the material on the other side as well. You can pin your person, and then my weight's going to come over the top. And it's just kind of a squeezing here with the grips. This is a nice one when you're in a low mount, when you're in a low floating mount. A lot of times they will not see the entry to this one coming. I'm going to show you the basic grips that you need and basically how to finish the choke. And then I will talk a little bit about a good way to set it up, considerations for when you set it up, okay? So first, when I'm here, I'm going to get 4 fingers in one side of his collar here, 4 fingers in just like this. And then on the other side, I'm going to do the same thing. So this is actually a symmetrical choke. This one's here, and this one's here. I can be nice and low for this. When it's time to do it, I pull the slack out of the back. I pull the slack out from the back of the neck, and I roll my knuckles in. Is a blood choke, would put somebody out. I actually have put somebody out with this. Is a blood choke, but the first thing you'll feel is that it's uncomfortable, and you'll probably tap before you're even choking. It is uncomfortable.
That's just how I felt.
Yeah, it is the knuckles on the neck, so it is what it sounds like. It's uncomfortable. I'm gonna get 4 fingers in on this side, literally the side, this side as well. You'll have to figure out positioning a couple times to figure out just where to be, so that when you pull the slack out, your fists are in essentially the front corner of his neck. You don't want to actually Frankenstein him on the sides. It hurts like the trap muscle essentially, but you want to be a little bit in front. So you'll have to figure out how much slack you need to end up not all the way in the front, not on the side, but right here, right? So that it fits just right. 4 and 4, pull the slack out, put my knuckles down, I roll them in, and the alternative finish on this is I take the slack out, I put these down, and I do a push-up. That's the a little bit meaner version, and I'll have this, put these here. I did a little bit of a push-up, okay? And that puts all my weight through my arms, and of course, you will be uncomfortable. For him, you will need this on people. Some people just have tough necks, and they like flex, and they look at you, and they're like, you're not choking me. So sometimes you have to add a little bit of your weight. So one more time, 4 and 4. Take the material out. I could just roll it in, that's uncomfortable, or I could do the push-up. It's not as easy as when we first show each other, where he's like, his nose is straight up for me and everything. It's harder because these lapels can be like blocked by his chin, just like being in the way. Like that's where I want to get in, is on the side. And this is usually where his head will be when I'm down here and I'm in, like, say, a low mount. Him looking sideways is bad on this side, but great for me on this side. He won't even see this. He might not even feel it. If I have some material loose and I'm down, this hand will just go in, no problem. To get the other side, I'm gonna use my chest just to make him look the other way. Now I have both, okay? So this is my setup advice for you. And then I can do the regular finish, okay? So again, when I'm in a low mount, he's not gonna be looking straight up. It's not a great idea. But I'm over here and there's like this opening right here. So he probably won't even feel the first hand go in, but the second hand's hard because his chin's in the way. So I use my chest and I sort of bulldoze him out of the way. And now I can pull the slack out and do my push-up to finish. The baseball bat choke is when I get a hold of the grips just like I would hold a baseball bat. So one is face up, one is face down, about that way. I need a bunch of material for this, so hopefully I've opened my material for myself, and the first hand that goes in is gonna do something we haven't done yet, which is I'm gonna go 4 fingers in, palm up, sort of upside down on the same side. So we've been going 4 fingers in on the opposite side. So now it's 4 fingers in on the same side, and then my thumb in on the other side. So this is the grip. It's like holding a baseball bat. So now to choke her, it's not an easy thing to do from the position that I'm in, so I have to change body position. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring one of my heels up to my butt. So I'm gonna just turn a tiny bit. One of my heels comes up to my butt so that I can bring it across, and we're gonna this is sort of an attack from knee on belly, but you can start it in mount if you get your grips from mount. I get my grips same side, palm up, thumb, bring my heel to my butt, on the palm up side. It does matter. It has to be on the palm up side. I bring this across. I'm in knee and belly. And I keep my grips. The next thing I'm going to do is, with my knee that's on the belly, I'm going to cut through this space. And I'm going to pin her arm out. So I'm going to cut through this space. As soon as my knee touches the ground, I can rotate on it. And I'm going to put my head on the other side, on the side that I just came from. What happens is, the baseball choke, which was open here, when I get to the other side, it makes the X that I need to finish the choke. So with some open material, palm up, same side. This is the beginning of a baseball choke. Thumb in on the other side, just like this. Now I'm gonna dismount to knee on belly. So one of my feet my heel comes to my butt, actually on the palm up side. Heel comes to my butt. I go to knee on belly. I'm gonna cut this knee right over her arm. This does stop what could be the beginning of a defense for her. And my arms haven't crossed yet. They don't cross until I spin all the way around here. I want my head to come all the way down on this side. One last time. Palm up, palm down. Dismount to knee on belly. cut this knee across, spin, head down. This has elements of the Nutcracker and of the baseball choke. Those are two a little bit more standard chokes. So now that you know those two, let's look at this one. This one I'm going to offset myself to the side, and I'm going to get this first grip like we do for Nutcracker. I just get a grip here. He may or may not notice that I do that. The second hand he'll probably notice, and I'm putting it in like a baseball choke. So you see why it has elements of those two. Nutcracker grip, baseball choke grip. And now I offset myself to the side a little bit. He's going to feel like he can elbow escape, turn on the side and elbow escape. So I'm going to dismount, and I'm going to put this forearm on the other side and finish here. This one, when that one touches down, and I pull this and I drop this, that's when our choke really comes together. Nutcracker grip, baseball choke grip. I off center a little bit, and it really feels like he's got a lot of room down here to be turning around, to be elbow escaping. I'm going to step off. That would be lucky. And I bring this arm comes over to the other side as I come around, and I'm dropping this and sort of pulling